Hi, welcome to the MyFestus.com conversation show, an encouraging, entertaining, and educational podcast for those who live, work, and play in the Festus, Missouri, and Jefferson County area, and for those who value communication, connection, and community wherever you live. Hi, I'm Sara, your host, a Wisconsin girl who is learning all about living in Missouri. Join me as I share fun conversations with local people and share my own reflections on navigating so many transitions. Thank you for making listening an itty-bitty habit to create a big impact in your life. Enjoy. Hello, welcome to MyFestus.com conversations. We're talking all about beards. I am joined by Lynnsie with Custom Insurance. And before we were getting rolling with recording, I asked her about candy because Ray Hallbrick with Livestream STL, who is behind the camera doing the production of this video, he loves candy. And I asked Lynnsie if she likes candy, and she said no, she really is not. But she does love cheese.
I love cheese.
And I am originally from Wisconsin, and cheese is a big thing in Wisconsin. So I would love to know, like, if you could have any variety or kind of cheese, like, what is your cheese of choice?
Gouda.
Ooh, Gouda, yes.
But I do enjoy a charcuterie spread. So you get to
spread.
That is kind of hard to say.
I know, right? So if you had your choice of different cheeses, or what would be on your charcuterie? Wait, how do you say it?
Charcuterie spread.
Charcuterie spread. What would be on there?
I think a great board has like a cheddar cheese, a soft cheese, an herb cheese, a spicy cheese. Ooh. And then we add in, if we have space, olives and crackers and some meats or something on those lines. But that's an art form.
Yes, that is a tasty little thing. And it could be like a meal, snack, something, whatever. Interesting.
Definitely great for entertaining if you haven't seen them.
Yes. Now I'm going to take that a bit further, and I'm going to segue that. So say someone has a business, okay? And their business is like the charcuterie. Wait, I don't even know if I'm going to be saying that correctly on this episode, right? How do you say the
charcuterie?
Charcuterie board, okay? And envision their business, whether they're a small business, a hobby business, a nonprofit organization, or a large business, commercial business. You handle insurance. Okay, and so if we were talking about the different aspects of insurance or the different aspects of protection or things that their business wants to ensure that they are covered and protected on, like what would be the little segments that they would need to want to think about, or that they would want to have a conversation with you about in terms of insurance to make up all of the different flavors and cheeses that would go into their business.
I love that you're relating these because I do enjoy making a charcuterie board.
Right?
So I will use that again in the future. But that's a great question because there is not a cookie cutter for business insurance.
Just like there's all the people who are listening and are going to be dying on this one. All the different boards that you create are all custom, right?
Yes,
like
they
anyone
sure
can have different cheeses, different meats, different olives, different crackers. And so insurance is that you do, and again, your business is called Custom Insurance, is all custom for each.
It sure is.
Okay, so back to the non-cookie cutter approach.
The biggest thing I don't think that everybody realizes is that there is not a cookie cutter for business insurance. And if you have a restaurant, your exposures are going to be much different than if you have a church.
Yes.
Or if you have a construction business.
And when you say exposure, what does that mean?
Like what you were saying, the different pieces that are on that board. So as maybe just a few examples, if you're a contractor and you're out to do a service, you're probably going to have commercial vehicles. You're going to have a lot of employees and need the workers' compensation and the general liability. But not maybe a brick and mortar store, a building that we have to insure, just depending on the size or if they just work out of their garage.
Gotcha.
Now, if you are a restaurant, you're definitely going to be insuring the building. And you're going to be insuring the employees, the food.
Sure.
So that if somebody were to get sick, there's just different in a nonprofit world.
Yeah.
You have a board of directors and officers, and you specifically need to have coverage for those individuals.
Interesting.
So I really try to build the right policy for that one individual, and that it protects them the way that their business is.
Yeah.
Because not every business is the same. So not every business owner's policy is going to be the same.
Absolutely. So if you take their kind of business entity, like your board, your charcuterie board, and then you're trying to ensure that they have all of the needed items covered within their business so that they can do what they are creating, and doing, whether they're serving or offering their products or service without having that
gap.
Yes.
We don't ever want there to be a gap in coverage. My process is to make sure that up front, you're covered and your investments are protected, so that if we have a loss and now we're filing a claim, we're not worried because we know everything is covered. So you definitely want to think about it as a whole circle. And I love to sit down with, like you said, businesses of all sizes and have that conversation so that we can see what is your needs? What do we need to make sure is covered? Because a farm and ranch is going to be much different than an automotive shop.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And would you say that's kind of your specialty, is commercial businesses or businesses, right?
Absolutely. That is my passion, is to protect that investment. And I love that you said of all sizes, because I do enjoy educating maybe a new business owner. Make sure that their investment is covered. But I enjoy big projects and diving in and making sure that all of the pieces are right there to make one cohesive business policy.
So it sounds like you obviously take time to really understand what it is their business actually is.
That's step one,
is understanding that.
Make sure you understand what their needs are so that we can build the right policy for that.
Absolutely. Now, if somebody has been in business for a while, are you still okay to talk with them? Like maybe
100%.
There's something that you could educate or offer them that maybe they don't have. So sometimes maybe are you supplementing their current, insurance plans, or are you diving into doing all new things, or just depends on the company. Okay.
I would prefer to have one cohesive policy in the same spot, not necessarily just pieces off of somebody else's, because that's where you can run into gaps and not necessarily know where the full coverages are. But one thing right now, specifically as a country, we're all in a hard market. So nobody should feel like, oh, I got my renewals and it's higher. What did I do wrong? We are literally all in this together. And we do have a few drivers that are making it a hard market. So in our industry, monitoring that, hopefully, let's say in the fall of 2025, we would really love to see that market come back into balance.
Sure.
Right now, people may be shopping their rates and want quotes because their renewals came in higher. And this is a great time to do it.
Sure.
We're happy to sit down, have the conversation, provide the quotes, and then let that business owner make their own decision on if that's a good choice for them.
Sure. So it sounds like you take the time to not only get to know them, but then educate them about what it is that they're possible coverage would include, and then to allow them to make the right decision for them.
And obviously, everybody doesn't enjoy talking about insurance, so I just try to come to the conversation with a warm smile.
Yes.
And we just work through the feelings. But you say that people may know, and there are business owners that are very educated on their insurance policy.
Sure.
But it's scary to me sometimes when I look at their current policy and the things that are missing, or the things that they're paying for that they don't necessarily need. So those kinds of conversations come up a lot on, this is what I am advising you.
Sure.
And then again, this is what I'm advising. You make the decision.
And it's not that you're going to persuade them one way or another. It's just you're like you said, giving education, because custom insurance has been around for a while.
It sure has. Custom insurance is locally owned since 1975.
Wow.
And we are right there in Crystal City on the Red Brick Road.
I love that.
Yeah. So, and we are partners with Keystone. So that gives us opportunities to have access to a lot of carriers.
Excellent.
So we're not going to find a market that we can't find coverage for. We have lots of options.
That's amazing. And whether someone's in Crystal City or not, just because I know you from a lot of events, and I think people who are listening or watching and can recognize Lynnsie's lovely face, they may not even associate you with insurance because you're always at different networking events, different chambers, different organizations. You are a part of 6 Missouri Chamber of Commerce. Is that right?
I am.
So when you are a part of these groups, obviously you work a wide radius. Is that correct?
I sure do.
Can you tell us about the radius of the people that you work with, or the locations that people are at? Mm-hmm.
I am a part of all of the Chamber of Commerce in Jefferson County. I truly enjoy being involved with local commerce, and I find a lot of fulfillment out of being in tune with the different things that are happening in those areas. And then I also am in Farmington, Missouri.
Wow.
And we have an office there, and being a part of that community is just amazing. It's a different speed, and I get to meet new people. And also the commerce is just one of those things, knowing what's happening, and even with this work on 55, and being able to sit in and say, oh, that makes sense. I'm so glad to hear from this person. But the connections are really amazing, and you never know when you're going to need that person. Right? So now I have a spider web going on in my mind. And if somebody says, hey, Lynnsie, do you know a good plumber? I know exactly who to call.
Right.
I can refer them because I've met this person and the human being behind it.
Yes.
All of the things. I have so many people all the time that are like, Lynnsie, can you give me a referral for? And then I can go through all of those contacts and say, I really think you're going to like working with this person. But I wouldn't, like in Farmington, I'm going to have a different plumber because it's a totally different area. High Ridge, House Springs, they may have somebody, a contractor that I know there at that chamber that I've had a conversation with, and I can say, I know you need to call.
So do you feel you're pretty connected, like in all of the different areas? Tell us, what are the 6 different Chamber of Commerce that you're involved in, so people can know like the 6 different areas that you work in? Sure.
Jefferson County has 5.
Okay.
So I live in DeSoto, and I definitely am going to be a part of that.
Okay.
Hillsboro.
Okay.
The Twin Cities, which is Festus and Crystal Cities.
Okay.
Arnold. And the Northwest, which covers House Springs and High Ridge.
Okay.
That kind of an area on 30.
And then Farmington.
Yes. Absolutely.
Fantastic. So if you're in any of those areas, Lynnsie is someone that you can talk to. And sounds like you travel to those areas that you can meet with people, business owners or nonprofit organizations on site to them. Or could they have a phone call? Or what's the best way to connect with you to start the conversation about
this? Well, so probably my name spelled out is harder, so I'm going to give you a telephone number.
All right.
636-465-9920. Call, text, get a hold of me, and we'll put something on the calendar. I do try to be thoughtful with my connections. And if I know I'm already going to be at that chamber, I will make meetings around that day so I can make the most out of my time and everybody else's.
And is there a charge for the initial consultation to have a conversation with you?
No, not at all.
Okay, so no pressure, no charge.
For sure.
You just understand getting to know each other a little bit about what it is their business is and seeing if it would be a good fit for you to explore.
Absolutely. It does not hurt to get quotes. Just to see if we can get a better premium. And then there again, most of the time when I'm going through that process, I'm actually finding some things that I could recommend one way or another.
Sure.
On that.
So it's like you see the cheese and then you're like, okay, maybe we need to add in some olives. Maybe we need to add in this kind of cracker, right?
That is awesome.
Put that all in.
I might use that even to explain it to some people that may not want the technical terms.
Yes. Everyone who's listening in is probably getting a little hungry right now. Yeah. And by the way, I think my favorite cheese would be like the extra sharp, like white cheddar.
I'm with you on that.
Right?
Delicious.
So
and you know all about cheese curds.
Yes.
Those are delicious.
It's very different because you go almost to any Wisconsin gas station and the cheese curds are on the counter. They're room
everywhere.
And they're good if they're squeaky. Mm-hmm. Are you shaking your head, Ray? Because you don't want the squeaky cheese? You like the squeaky cheese? Oh, the cheese curds are delicious, and the cheese on the charcuterie board. It's a good analogy to think about all the different ways that you could make up something that would be, really all encompassing like a business. There's a lot of different custom aspects that go into it, just like the custom coverage of insurance.
And we can do more than just like aviation is one of those things I didn't realize until I started talking to people and getting in that. And then bonds. We have access to a lot of different types of bonds.
Okay.
So that would be something to note if you're ever looking for that, because I was having a conversation at a Coffee and Connections.
Yeah.
And he was specifically looking for somebody to do a unique bond. But
excellent.
When you get out and you are a part of the community and you're talking to folks, you're getting to know them. When I'm in Schnucks, I talk to everybody. It takes me forever, but I love it. Yeah. And you really, for me, it's very fulfilling.
Yes. To talk to people, to get to know them.
To get those connections. Yeah. And just to be able to say how we can help each other.
And would you say that's what community is all about to Lynnsie?
Absolutely. I think we live here, we shop here, we work here. We build up these relationships so that our kids want to stay. They want to put down their roots and they want to stay in the community and help it to grow and thrive. And just support is the biggest thing I've got, because our country's in a very hard spot, but if we could just bring back some of these little things that we can do as individuals to help each other, it really could make a bigger impact.
I believe it.
So I definitely think connections is where it starts.
Yes.
Having that little conversation.
Yes.
Now I was able to help him.
Yes.
And that happens to me daily.
Yes.
And I just love it because it just comes through honest conversations.
Yes. And that's what this show is all about, is for people to get to know the leaders and the people that you see all over, likely like Lynnsie. She's on social media. You probably see her at networking events. You see her all over. And I'm so thrilled and honored that you took time out of your busy schedule to have this conversation and to allow everyone to get to know you more. And if they want to ever get on your good side, Gouda is the way to go, people.
Nice.
Let's not do the candy. Gouda for our girl, Lynnsie. Thank you, Lynnsie, for taking time out of your busy schedule to have this conversation with me and with all of us, and for providing such a custom way that you interact with everyone else with your contacts.
Thank you, Sara. Thank you for the opportunity and just, highlighting all of the different folks that are in our community. We love everything that you're doing.
Oh, thank you. All right. Thank you, Lynnsie, and thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to this myfestus.com conversation. I hope that you have found some itty-bitty inspiring takeaways to make a big impact in your life. To create an even bigger impact in your life, check out my website, myfestus.com, to explore all the positive people and places you can experience around here, as well as learn about encouraging ways to navigate your own life transitions, no matter where you live. I also send out fun, encouraging emails so you can learn about all the new things and score a must-have deal of the week to save you some money as you support our local businesses. Just click on the subscribe button on the myfestus.com website to sign up. Thank you for making listening an itty-bitty habit to create a big impact in your life.